So, good evening, everyone. I'm Akash here from FIAPO, and today we have Hetal, who will be conducting the session for plant based nutrition for the community and shelter animals. So, thank you all for joining us this evening. Hetal is a techie who is who has turned into a passionate animal advocate. She has years of experience supporting both pet parents and NGOs in transitioning their dogs to a holistic and a plant-based lifestyle. So we're thrilled to have her here, and she'll be conducting today's session. Thank you, Hetal, for providing us with this insightful data. We look forward to this. Thank you.
Thanks, Akash. It's a pleasure to be connecting with people who are looking to make this shift because it definitely has a huge impact not just on the well being of the animal but on our planet too. I'll just share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Not yet,
Not yet,
Hetal.
Hetal.
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can. So
Hi,
basically,
I am. I'm so
sorry,
sorry to
sorry to
interrupt, but
interrupt, but
madam, could
madam,
you,
could you,
I mean,
I mean,
audio is
audio
not
is
very
not very
clear.
clear. Okay, is it better now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's better.
it's better.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, hi everyone. My journey began with plant-based nutrition for animals about almost 10 years ago when I adopted my dogs and moved them over onto a plant-based diet because of the health issues that they had, and we couldn't really find a whole lot of relief with the conventional diets, and that's how this entire journey began. So, and that led to the foundation of Curry and Pepper. Basically, it's inspired by my dog's names and one of the indie rescues who always inspired me to give back. So this journey began back in California, where I was running a vegan organic dog food company that was based on Ayurvedic principles for almost over 8 years. And then I moved to India after that with my dogs, and that's where I began this journey over here in India as well. So it's been a great journey of learning. I really think my dogs have been my tutors. They've inspired me on this journey, and it's also the reason why I went on to learn canine nutrition, specifically focusing on plant-based diets. So, what we are going to cover today, because I know we have a mix of pet parents and shelters or people who feed community animals, we're going to go through some basics. So, basically, what you should be feeding your dog in the basics, very high level basics of canine nutrition, and how to balance certain nutrients, because it's really important for the well being of your dog. We're going to be focusing a bit more on the dogs. I will take in the Q&A aspects for cats. And then we're also going to discuss strategies for economical feeding, especially when it comes to our community animals or shelters and how we can shift them over. So, anytime you talk about feeding a dog or a cat, the carnivore debate always comes up. So, dogs are carnivores. Sorry, dogs are omnivores and cats are carnivores. Cats are more of an obligate carnivore. So, they're a little bit different than dogs, but does not mean that they cannot thrive on plant-based diets. Both dogs and cats, they need certain specific nutrients in their diets. As long as they get their nutrients, it doesn't matter if the source is from plant-based or animal-based. As long as they get the complete nutrient profile in their bowl, they can be on a plant-based diet. And in fact, there are a lot of studies that show both dogs and cats can thrive on a plant-based diets, and cats interestingly have even better digestibility than dogs when it comes to plant proteins. So certainly both these species can be on a plant-based diet as long as it is nutritionally complete and balanced. And what does nutritionally complete and balanced mean is what we are going to look at. So the details that I'm going to be presenting is more geared towards dogs at the moment. So, what is the purpose of nutrition, right? Before we understand, whether to feed meat or plant-based, and if plant-based, what do we feed? We need to understand what is the purpose of nutrition. So does anyone want to take a stab at telling me what is the
Hetal,
purpose? Yeah.
sorry, there may be some background
Background
noise
noise
towards your
towards your
end.
end. Okay, I think it might be the fan. I'll just turn it off.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is it better now?
better.
Better.
And
And
also
also
a
a
request,
request,
Hetal, if
Hetal, if
Hindi can
Hindi can
be
be
incorporated,
incorporated. Sure.
a little
A
bit
little
of that.
bit of that. Yeah. So if people want to just share what is the purpose of nutrition, आप dog को या cat को खाना क्यों खिलाते हैं? अच्छा like proper nutrition या आहार मिलना क्यों जरूरी है उनको? Does anyone want to share? You can just unmute your line and say.
Hetal, can
Yeah.
begin with your
With your
question?
question. So what is the purpose of nutrition? Why do we feed something to a dog or a cat?
Well,
Well,
just like
just like
human
human
beings, it is
beings,
very
it is very
important for
important for
animals to
animals
also
to also
have a
have a
complete
complete
nutritionally
nutritionally
balanced
balanced
diet
diet
for
for
for their
for their
health, for
health,
their
for their
general
general
well-being,
well-being,
and
and
day-to-day like
day-to-day like
welfare for their
welfare for their
welfare.
welfare. Correct. Basically, they need fuel to power their bodies, right? It's like putting petrol in a car. So depending on the quality of petrol, आप जिस तरह का पेट्रोल गाड़ी के इंजन में डालोगे वैसा ही परफॉर्मेंस मिलेगा ना. आप लो ग्रेड पेट्रोल डालोगे तो लो ग्रेड परफॉर्मेंस मिलेगा. वैसे ही when it comes to food or nutrition, आप जिस तरह के खाना खिलाओगे वैसा ही एनिमल बनेगा. Because food is also medicine, right? So if you feed, आप सिर्फ रोटी चावल खिलाओगे या दाल सब्जी एंड चावल खिलाओगे तो that is not complete nutrition for a dog or a cat, right? तो वो thrive नहीं कर पाएगा, वो healthy नहीं रह पाएगा. So basically nutrition को overall health support करना चाहिए, चाहे वो dog हो, cat हो, human being हो, कोई भी हो. The first purpose of nutrition is to support overall health. अगर आप प्रॉपर खाना खिलाओगे तभी हेल्थ बैलेंस में रहेगा, डिजीज नहीं होगा. दूसरा रीजन है प्रिवेंशन. जैसे मैंने अभी बताया, अगर खाना ठीक से खा रहे हो, ह्यूमंस के लिए भी अप्लाई करता है ना, तो अगर जैसे ही हम ठीक से खाना खा रहे हैं तो डिजीज नहीं होता है. वैसे ही if dogs and cats are eating the right food, you can prevent disease. So prevention is always better than cure. You want to be able to prevent things before they start, right? So it saves you money. Also, it saves a lot of trouble for the dog, cat, or the human. And then it is also important, like looking at an animal's perspective, proper nutrition is very important for healthy skin, coat, digestion, and joints. Digestion is very important. अगर dog या cat का digestion बराबर नहीं होगा तो definitely health issues होंगे, क्योंकि nutrients ठीक से absorb नहीं हो पाएंगे. Digestion को optimal रहने के लिए उसके लिए जो भी आहार जरूरी है वो important है. So that is again another purpose of nutrition. और इमोशनल वेलबीइंग भी. अभी फॉर एग्जांपल अगर ह्यूमंस को, आप में से किसी को सिर्फ रोज दाल चावल दिया जाएगा तो आप खुश रहोगे क्या वो खा के? नहीं ना, क्योंकि बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गेटिंग ऑल द न्यूट्रिएंट्स दैट यू नीड. सो इमोशनल और मेंटल वेलबीइंग के लिए बिहेवियर, फॉर प्रॉपर गुड बिहेवियर ऑल्सो a balanced diet is necessary. And ये scientifically proven भी है. जब proper diet नहीं रहता है तो anxiety issues, fear issues, aggression issues होते हैं, because you don't get the essential nutrients that are needed. So that is another reason why a proper balanced diet is needed for proper nutrition of our animals. So just as humans, these apply to our animals as well. So basics of canine nutrition at a high level, this is also important. This is the same for cats. It's slightly different and I will share that. So basically protein is important. Okay, dogs या cats के लिए protein is required. If you think about it, dogs have evolved from wolves. अभी wolf को 50% प्रोटीन चाहिए होता है, 50% फैट चाहिए होता है। क्यों? क्योंकि जंगल में जब वो रहता है, वो उसको जब शिकार मिलता है तभी वो खाता है, जब शिकार नहीं मिलता है तब उसके पास खाने के लिए कुछ नहीं होता है। तो एट दैट टाइम वो जो भी एक्स्ट्रा प्रोटीन उसने खाया हुआ है, दैट इज स्टोर्ड इन द बॉडी, एंड देन इट यूजेस दैट बॉडी टू गो थ्रू दैट पीरियड व्हेन उसको जब कोई शिकार नहीं मिलता है। Whereas हमारे जो dogs या cats है आज के, and this philosophy applies for cats also when they came from bigger cats in the wild. जो common domesticated dogs and cats है, उनके लिए रोज 2 बार खाना मिलता है. They don't have to go through this process of hunting, feasting and fasting. They pretty much get food either through, if they are pet, they are well fed, they are getting their meals twice a day. If they are community animals, either somebody is feeding them or they're scavenging, so they find their resources. So you don't need as much protein as a wolf for a dog. So you need pretty much half the amount, like around 18 to 22% of protein for an adult dog. Puppies will require a little higher amount of protein to support growth. Okay, so the other essential element is fat. Fat is essential because every cell, we are all made of different cells, right? So every cell has a lining of fat, which determines what nutrition flows into the cell and what toxins go out of the cell. So ye fat ka lining is very important for each cell. So providing the right kind of fats in the diet is also equally important. It's not just a matter of throwing in some sunflower oil and some canola oil or whatever. सही तरह का फैट मिलना जरूरी है for the cell to function optimally. And then you need fiber. Fiber is essential to allow time for the food to pass through from the stomach into the intestines, into the colon, so that there is enough time for nutrition to be absorbed. And then the waste toxins ko nikalne ke liye bahar, it does the sweeping action. Vitamins and minerals are equally important for proper cellular function, brain function, joints के लिए जैसे calcium जरूरी होता है joints के लिए, phosphorus is again important for joints, heart function के लिए, for all different bodily functions, organ के जो भी function होते हैं उसके लिए vitamins और minerals जरूरी होता है. और ये vitamins and minerals, so totally, and carbohydrates for fuel. So dogs and cats use fats and carbohydrates for energy production or metabolism. Okay, and moisture is also equally important. So ये सब कुछ मिला के totally cats के लिए करीब 37 nutrients रहने चाहिए bowl में. Only then they will thrive. Otherwise, you can, lack of deficiencies will lead to disease. Likewise, cats के लिए करीब 41 to 45 nutrients लगते हैं. So their nutrient profile is a little bit higher because they are obligate carnivores. उनके protein requirements भी थोड़े higher है compared to dogs. The amino acids that dogs need is slightly different from what a cat would need. So are we clear so far in terms of why different elements of nutrition are important? और ये सिर्फ चिकन राइस खिलाने से या दाल रोटी खिलाने से या दाल चावल या दही चावल खिलाने से ये 37 न्यूट्रिएंट्स उनको नहीं मिलेगा. So that's why balanced or nutritionally complete diet बहुत important है. So ये कैसे, how do we create a bowl of food that is nutritionally complete and balanced, right? So basically we have to be mindful about feeding macronutrients. Macronutrients जो अभी हमने देखे, protein, fat and carbohydrates, and then micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals. So basically a large portion of the bowl should be macronutrients, which are protein. Protein can come from beans, legumes, जैसे राजमा, छोले, दाल, और इंडिया में बहुत सारे beans and lentils available है. So आप इनमें से कोई काफी सारी varieties use कर सकते हो. They are good sources of protein. उसके अलावा आप soybeans वगैरह भी use कर सकते हो. Soy chunks are also a great alternative, especially if you're feeding community animals. It's a little cheaper and a good source of protein. फिर उसके अलावा fats के लिए you can use things like seeds and nuts. Seeds जैसे pumpkin seed है, sunflower seed है, olive oil है, sunflower oil है. These are all good sources of fats. So basically fats में omega 3 omega 6 बैलेंस करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, because ये omega 3 और 6 ही सेल का लाइनिंग फॉर्म करता है, और इसका अगर बैलेंस नहीं रहा ना तो इन्फ्लेमेशन होता है बॉडी में, और इन्फ्लेमेशन के कारण फिर डिजीज होते हैं, जैसे जॉइंट डिजीज होता है, गट इश्यूज होता है, स्किन प्रॉब्लम्स होता है, लिवर प्रॉब्लम्स, किडनी प्रॉब्लम्स. So balancing omega 3 and omega 6 is very important. So another good source of omega 3 and 6 जो balanced ratio में है, that is algae oil. Algae oil is a great source of vegan omega 3 and 6. Hemp seeds, so these are all different sources, okay? Then grains like simple things like rice, millets. So these also provide fiber as well as carbohydrates. Okay, that can be used for energy production. Grains also provide are a cheap way of providing certain other vitamins and minerals. So and then fresh vegetables and fruits. So vegetables like carrot से vitamin A मिलता है, pumpkin is good for digestion. So आपको locally जो भी vegetables available है, you can use those as well. Seasons के आप seasonally feed करोगे, seasonal vegetables use करोगे, तो the cost will also come down. So basically about 50% of the bowl should be protein. About 20% should be vegetables that are root vegetables like pumpkin hai, sweet potato hai, because these are complex carbohydrates and they're really good for the digestion and for the process of nutrition absorption. And they're also a very good source of fiber. So butternut squash hai, these things, so basically starchy vegetables. So those can form 20%, 10% grains, the 10% of fats. So that's how you create the bowl. Now, आप इतना सब कुछ मिला के, do you think you're getting complete nutrition? No. Like for example, agar if you're feeding up your pet, okay, I'm just giving a pet as an example, and I'll also cover shelters, what they do most commonly. So let's say if you're feeding the best home cooked meal for your dog, जैसे आप ब्राउन राइस यूज कर रहे हो, आप मूंग दाल यूज कर रहे हो, आप छोले राजमा वो सब भी मिक्स कर रहे हो प्रोटीन के लिए, सबसे बेस्ट वेजिटेबल्स ले रहे हो, पालक, टमाटर, ग्रीन बीन्स, ब्रोकली, कैरेट्स, आप फैट हेल्दी फैट सोर्सेज भी डाल रहे हो, जैसे चिया सीड, फ्लैक्स सीड वगैरह, सनफ्लावर ऑयल, पीनट बटर. आप ये सब मिक्स करने के बाद भी, डू यू थिंक योर डॉग इज गेटिंग ऑल द एसेंशियल न्यूट्रिएंट्स इन द राइट बैलेंस? इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ये जो भी उनको न्यूट्रिएंट्स मिले वो राइट अमाउंट में और राइट बैलेंस में होने चाहिए, बिकॉज ये हर एक न्यूट्रिएंट एक दूसरे के साथ इंटरैक्ट करता है, तो उनका बैलेंस मेंटेन करना बहुत जरूरी है. सो द रेशियो, उनका प्रमाण जो होता है वो करेक्ट होना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक ज्यादा रहा एक कम रहा तो भी प्रॉब्लम होते हैं. सो जैसे ये एग्जांपल में ये रेसिपी अगर आप देखोगे, this is a recipe that is promoted by a very popular vegan dog food brand, but it lacks a lot of nutrients. जैसे आप ये देखोगे, जो भी blue में है, that is being provided by the recipe in the previous slide, जो भी red है, that is the recommended allowance, उतना nutrition मिलना चाहिए, so that the red portion you can also think of it as a gap. So blue is what blue जो है recipe में nutrition मिल रहा है, red जो है वो gap है, वो अभी तक कंप्लीट न्यूट्रिशन नहीं है. तो आप जैसे देखोगे ये रेसिपी में टॉरिन और कार्नाइटिन है ही नहीं, which is essential amino acids that are typically found only in meat. So if you're providing a plant-based diet, it has to be supplemented. Otherwise, the heart will not function properly, muscles will not function properly, and you will have degenerative diseases. फिर मेथियोनिन भी, if you can see, बहुत कम मात्रा में है. Methionine again amino acid है, that is typically found readily in meat-based diets, but it needs to be supplemented in a plant-based diet. Methionine, अगर आप plant-based vegetarian और vegan खाना खिला रहे हो और अगर enough methionine नहीं है ना, तो urinary crystals होगा, kidney stones होगा dogs को, and this applies for cats also. So that's why it is very important to meet these nutritional guidelines and provide complete nutrition. जैसे ओमेगास नहीं होंगे तो you'll have inflammation, कैल्शियम नहीं होगा तो आपको पता है बोन प्रॉब्लम्स होंगे, विटामिन डी नहीं होगा तो अगेन बोन प्रॉब्लम्स भी होंगे, और fat soluble, it's a fat soluble vitamin, so you will need omega. So that's where I'm saying ratios important है. अगर omega 3 omega 6 नहीं है, fat sources नहीं है food में, तो vitamin D absorb नहीं होगा, तो again bones will become weak. Likewise, vitamin K is important for cellular function. Vitamin B complex, zinc, ये सब you'll see like this is an example of how much nutrition is missing. So अगर हमें plant based खिलाना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? ये न्यूट्रिशन गैप फिल करने के लिए हमें सप्लीमेंट करना पड़ेगा. सो दैट इज वेयर मील बैलेंसर, जो करियन पेपर का मील बैलेंसर है, दिस इज स्पेसिफिकली फॉर्मुलेटेड फॉर होम कुकिंग और कुक्ड मील्स में ऐड करने के लिए, ताकि ये जो न्यूट्रिशनल गैप है, सारा न्यूट्रिशनल गैप इज ब्रिज्ड, तो आपके डॉग के बोल में कंप्लीट न्यूट्रिशन मिलेगा. This can be used for cats, but cats के लिए there are certain nutrients lacking in this, so that's why we don't recommend using this for cats at the moment. तो ये जब आप home cooked meal में आप इसको add करते हो, तो it will provide complete nutrition. You don't have to be a nutritionist like me to figure out what to feed your dog. The meal balancer के साथ cookbook भी आता है, आप वो recipes follow करो, meal balancer add करो, and you can provide complete nutrition to your dog. So likewise for shelter, so for a pet parent that makes sense, right? You follow the cookbook, you add the meal balancer, and you provide complete nutrition. But shelters ke liye, you can still use this product for shelters. Shelters ke liye we have a different recipe that is a little bit that allows for managing costs better for feeding. So you can just follow that recipe and then add meal balancer. वो recipe हमारे website पे है at curryandpepper.com. Blogs में जाओगे तो there is a recipe, so you can actually just use that recipe and add meal balancer, and you will provide complete nutrition for your shelter animals as well. So basically meal balancer helps you complete the amino acid profile. It provides taurine, carnitine, methionine, and बाकी amino acids जो है वो plant based food से आएंगे. It balances the key nutrient ratios. जो मैंने बोला, calcium, for example, calcium and phosphorus has to be in a certain ratio for proper heart function, kidney function, and bone growth. अगर वो रेशियो बराबर नहीं रहा तो ये तीनों चीजें में प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे. सो और ये रेशियो सारे उसमें बैलेंस्ड है. It provides all the essential vitamins and minerals जो dogs को लगते हैं, including vitamin D3. And it also includes pre and probiotics. So if you're shifting your dog from a meat based diet to a plant based diet, the pre and probiotics help with a smooth transition, so that they don't have diarrhea या वो सब problems नहीं होते. अभी हमने ये जान लिया है कि dogs को nutrition wise क्या लगता है और plant based nutrition देना है तो क्या लगता है. अभी shift कैसे करना. अभी home based जो pets है, they can actually we are going to be launching a challenge which I will discuss a little bit later. You guys can join the challenge to shift your dogs in 4 weeks from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. It's a guided approach. Shelters log ke liye, we will later on be doing a similar challenge for shelters to guide you through that process of shifting from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. So basically shelters में आप क्या करते हो, अब ज़्यादातर अगर meat scraps और rice खिलाते हो, तो what you can do is सबसे पहले broth बंद कर दो, ब्रॉथ निकाल दो और सिर्फ स्क्रैप्स और राइस दो. उसके बाद आप मीट के जो स्क्रैप्स है वो पोर्शंस कम करते जाओ और उसमें प्लांट प्रोटीन्स ऐड करते जाओ. जैसे दाल इज अ वेरी गुड सोर्स ऑफ प्रोटीन, and when you're buying in bulk you can buy affordably at affordable costs. So masoor dal is great. आप मसूर दाल डालते जाओ, soy chunks डालो या soy beans डालो, वो भी they're cost efficient sources of protein. So you replace slowly the meat scraps with these plant-based proteins, and as you're shifting you add a little bit of जैसे sunflower oil डाल सकते हो. You can also buy defatted sunflower cakes. जैसे farms में वो लोग काफी बार ये feed use करते हैं sunflower as feed for the farm animals. तो उनमें से जो, और even like if you reach out to companies that make oil, you can actually get the oil निकालने के बाद जो sunflower seeds का waste रह जाता है ना, you can use that as an input for your shelter dogs as a source of fat. It's just enough fat, not too high fat. So that is a cheap way of getting or adding fats. Then you start adding those. you can add flavoring agents like haldi, adrak वगैरह. आप locally आपको जो seasonal vegetables मिल रहे हो, most dogs like carrot and lockie in India, I find that. तो आप ये vegetables easily available है throughout the year, तो आप वो डाल सकते हो. So we will now discuss strategies to reduce costs when feeding community and shelter dogs. So one thing that you can do if you're a shelter, or even if you're a community feeder, you can reach out to companies that sell vegan dog food in India. So for example, you can reach out to companies like myaistra.com. उनको आप कांटेक्ट करके आप बोल सकते हो आपका अगर स्टॉक एक्सपायर होने वाला है जो कमर्शियल डॉग फूड का है आप एक्सपायर होने वाला और बिका नहीं है तो आप हमको लो कॉस्ट में दे दो या एक्सपायर हो गया है तो हमें फ्री में दे दो क्योंकि वो एक्सपायर होने के बाद भी 2-3 महीने तक वो फूड अच्छा रहता है because the bag is still not opened. So expiry के बाद भी for 2 months the food is still good. So you can still use that for your shelter dogs to feed them. So if you're getting that food, you're actually lowering the cost. So maybe one meal you feed that and one meal you feed a cooked meal. You can also reach out to companies like Pedigree, Jules, Smart Heart, वगैरह, and tell them that you're a shelter. So if you can partner with them to provide, you can ask them to provide you the food at a lower cost. These are all nutritionally complete and balanced foods. जैसे Benevo है, Amy है, V Planet है, Jules है, Pedigree is not vegan, Pedigree is vegetarian, so I don't recommend that. Jules is vegan. Smart Heart is also vegan. Meetup is also vegan. So these are all brands that you can connect with and kind of work out costing so that you get it at a cheaper rate. And if it's a lot that is expiring, you can acquire it for free. Myaistra.com does that. जब भी उनका lot expire होने वाला होता है, they give it away for free. So you can build those relationships and bring down feeding cost by doing that, and provide vegan food that is nutritionally complete and balanced at the same time. The other thing that you can do is you can partner with local restaurants to collect leftover rice and lentils and veggies from them. You can collaborate with आपके एरिया में जो भी रेस्टोरेंट्स है ना आप उनको बोल सकते हो जितना भी बचा हुआ प्लेन राइस है प्लेन बॉइल्ड दाल है कट किया हुआ वेजिटेबल्स है विदाउट अनियन एंड गार्लिक आप उनसे वो कलेक्ट करके you can actually put that together, add the meal balancer and feed that to the dogs in the shelter or the community dogs. It will help reduce and lower the cost because उनके लिए तो वो फेक नहीं होता है, it's going to be wasted for them. Instead of that going for a waste, you repurpose it. So that is an initiative that you can build with your local shelters and local restaurants. So we at Curry and Pepper, we are committed to transitioning shelters over to plant-based diets. We've already sheltered two shelters in Tamil Nadu. One is a shelter, a proper shelter. It's a shelter. It was a dairy farm converted to a dog rescue, and they have about 30-40 dogs, and all of their dogs are now vegan. They use the Curry and Pepper meal balancer, and I had created a recipe for them that was economical. So they feed that basically, and we give the Curry and Pepper meal balancer at a special rate for shelters. So you can always connect with us and we are happy to help you and provide you with those rates. Likewise, we are also coming up with a protein powder that provides 50 grams of protein, so 25 grams per scoop. So basically, if you even just get rice, and whatever little dal or soya chunk or whatever you can get, you add this 25 grams of protein, 1 scoop of protein, and you add the meal balancer, you can still provide all the amino acids and a nutritionally complete diet for the dogs, which will help lower the cost, the protein cost for dogs on a plant-based diet. And then whatever local vegetables you're getting, you can kind of, add that into it. So these are some strategies that you can use. Further, you can also create, like if you're a shelter or an NGO, you can create a cookout, where you engage the community to cook, like a potluck. हम लोग humans के लिए जो potluck करते हैं, we do a potluck for dog. You ask people, you tell them cook rice and bring cooked dal, bring cooked veggies. You tell them, and you have them bring all that. You mix it in, and you just add the meal balancer and give it to the dogs. So this is a great way of engaging the community as well, because there are a lot of people who are willing to volunteer, but they may not have time to come to the shelter and spend the whole day volunteering with the dogs. This is a great simple way to volunteer. They can cook the food, and aajkal to Dunzo and so many other facilities are there, porter and all that. They can cook and just send the food over to you, and then you can kind of incorporate that into the dog's diet. The other way is create a donation list. Create a donation list on Amazon and put it on your WhatsApp communication या आपके जो भी groups है या website है, Instagram है, जहाँ पे भी है, you can put this Amazon list. Tell them that हमें ये ingredients चाहिए, you know, so people can just order it off of Amazon and you guys get the donation. Or you can also tell them, if they don't want to order it from Amazon, that these are the ingredients we need. हमें चावल चाहिए, दाल चाहिए, whatever you need, you can tell them, and then they kind of donate in terms of those non-perishable items to you. So instead of collecting meat scraps from butchers, it's a good way to collect, get donation in terms of food. This also helps significantly lower your feeding costs on a plant-based diet. And then the other very important thing is, जो भी ये food, whether it's packaged food that you're receiving from the companies that you've partnered with, या जो अनाज आ रहा है donation से, वो बहुत जरूरी है कि आप उसको ठीक तरह से स्टोर करो ताकि वो खराब ना हो and it lasts longer. If you store it properly, it will last you longer. So these are great ways of shifting to a plant-based diet and reducing costs for feeding. So one of the shelters that was shared, they shared that they currently feed mainly rice and meat scraps, and their cost is about 80 rupees per dog. So you can within that cost, you can feed a really good plant-based diet for a dog. So if you're using, let's say, rice and dal, simple, whatever local vegetable that you're getting leftovers from the sabzi mandi, jo kachre mein dalne wale hote, but it's still in decent quality, you can actually take those and add to the food. And if you add the curry and pepper protein, that powder that's coming up, and the meal balancer, you can easily feed a dog at 65 to 70 rupees per dog. And if you use the strategies that I mentioned earlier, you can further reduce the costs. It is possible to further reduce the cost if you incorporate these multiple strategies. So it can be efficient. So not only with plant-based diet, not only are you improving their health, you are also supporting our planet, because the emissions, carbon emissions from a meat-based diet is quite high in terms of water, land use, and deforestation. Whereas it's significantly lower when feeding a plant-based diet. The key to feeding any diet, whether it's chicken and rice or a plant-based diet, the key is it should be nutritionally complete and balanced. Just feeding chicken and rice is also not nutritionally complete and balanced. Usme bhi supplementation lagta hai. So you'd rather if you combine food that you're receiving from these vegan dog food companies, if you feed that one time, you mix that the other batch with cooked food, then you can significantly lower costs. Or feed fully cooked food. There are shelters who do that, just feed fully cooked food. So that can significantly help reduce cost. And what shelters can also do is, if you have a lot of community feeders in your area, you can cook for the community feeders, and you can charge them for, a bucket of whatever food you're cooking. And that will also become a revenue stream for you while you're providing them cost effective vegan food that it's easy for them to collect and feed, as opposed to them cooking and going around and feeding. So this is just another way to kind of support your shelter while also supporting community animals. And at Curry and Pepper, we are also open to providing the meal balancer at a particular discounted rate, which if the shelter wants to sell it, they can sell it and keep the profits from selling it, so that you can keep your feeding programs operational. Anytime a dog is getting adopted, you can send this can also be your adoption strategy. There are a lot of people who don't want to adopt dogs because they don't want to feed meat. But if you promote that your dogs are already vegan and you support vegan feeding, you get them a starter kit, then you will have a lot more adoption rates also. So these are just a few different strategies that you can combine and use to shifting the shelter to a plant-based feeding program. Um, so final thoughts, like I said, for pet parents, we are launching a program to shift your dogs from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. Normally, if you were to consult me and get everything that is needed to get your dog started on a plant-based diet with the coaching and everything, it will cost you somewhere around 8,000 plus. But with this challenge one-time offer that we are doing, we don't run this promotion very often. It is only for 949, and it includes the starter kit to get you guys started to shift to plant-based nutrition. It includes a 4-week guided program with live calls, daily coaching, and support, community support, to help you through this transition process. It will be a fully guided process, one step at a day, that you will shift. And by the end of the program, your dog will be on a fully balanced, nutritionally complete plant-based diet. So if you're individual pet parents interested in feeding a plant-based diet to your dog, this is a great way to get started. Now looking at this 8,000 ka price, आप ये मत समझना कि plant-based feeding is expensive. Plant-based feeding is not at all expensive because you're using your common kitchen ingredients and then supplementing it with meal balancer. So it's actually a lot cheaper. So if you're feeding, let's say, like a commercial dog food, it could, depending on your dog size, for a mid-sized dog, it could run anywhere between 7 to 9,000 a month. With plant-based feeding, you can actually and home cooking, you can cut the cost to half. So this basically, if there is enough interest with the shelters, I would be more than happy to guide. So right now I do one-on-one guidance for shelters. I don't charge anything for consultation or guiding them, because our goal is to be able to shift them to plant-based feeding as well. So I'm happy to support. You can reach out via Akash or directly, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys with the program. Uh, so we can create something similar. If shelters are interested on onboarding this journey, we could do a follow-up call to get you guys set up for the transition journey, and then we'll guide you through the process. We will go through the costs and all the data in there as well, for the recipe that would be used for the shelters. And last day to enroll for this program is 27th July 2025. So this weekend, basically. And if there are shelters who have shelter founders who have pets, I suggest you join this program, because the learning that you go through in this program will be immensely helpful, because you will be able to apply these same principles to your shelter animals. It's the same process, it's just a different scale. You can find there is a lot of research on plant-based diets for dogs and cats at Sustainable Pet Food Info. So all the research studies that are published in the veterinary journals as well as science journals are published there and discussed there as well. So you can kind of take a look at that. Um, uh, there are veterinarians who support vegan feeding as well. Plant Powered Dog is a great book. And then at Curry and Pepper also we do online webinars where we discuss with all of these scientists and veterinarians who support plant-based feeding on the scientific aspect of feeding a plant-based diet and its impact on health. So you can view they're all free. You can view the webinars online. They're free, and we also publish a lot of information on our blogs, so you can kind of get information from there as well. So I suggest you go to the Curry and Pepper website and go to the blogs, and there is a blog that says feeding stray dogs. I suggest you take a look at the blog as well to look at the rest. So the products that we highly recommend that you incorporate for both shelters and people, pet parents, is the Curry and Pepper meal balancer for home cooking. It is an investment in the animal's health. It will save you so much money in the long run, because you're feeding a nutritionally complete and balanced diet. If once you give this supplement, you will not require any other supplements from your vet. I mean, if you add up the costs that the veterinarian provides for feeding the supplement, like calcium supplement, bone joint supplement, heart supplement, आप ये सब add करोगे, तो it will be way more than the cost of the meal balancer. So it's a great deal, and it even comes with recipes, multiple recipes, so you can use those as different feeding strategies, rotate them. So some of the commercial dog food links that you can partner with or reach out to is myastra.com. Myastra.com has dry and canned food. And all of their food is imported. So they are more than willing to support shelters and community feeders when their stock is kind of running out of the date. So it's a great way to connect with them and stay in the loop when that's happening, so that you can get it first. And when they have it, it goes out like literally in a day, so you want to stay connected with them. Then you can reach out like to companies like Fresh Wolf, Pause for Green. Then you have Nature's Hug. You also have Smart Heart Drools. You can reach out to these companies and collaborate with them, because if even they want to be able to give back and support the community, so because it's a marketing impact for them, right? So it's a great way to collaborate with these companies, and also kind of for days when you can't cook, this can be your backup option. So with that, I'll just open it up for Q&A.
From 7:14 onwards, Hital.
So for people who are wanting this information, जिनको ये जानकारी हिंदी में चाहिए थी, आई होप मैंने हिंदी में कवर किया और आपको समझ में आया है। नहीं अब अगर कोई एस्पेक्ट नहीं कवर किया है तो आप चैट में डाल सकते हो, एंड आई एम हैप्पी टू रिपीट इट इन हिंदी। 7:14. Okay. Can cats thrive on a plant-based food? As I have tried, but cat died, and many don't give milk to cats and dogs. So most cats and dogs, Billy and Kutte normally uh, lactose intolerant hote, and we don't recommend feeding dairy to them anyways. Cats can thrive on a plant-based diet. वो अगर nutritionally complete and balanced हो, आप क्या खिला रहे थे cat को? Prinjal? Prinjal, if you can just unmute your line and tell me what you were feeding your cat. If you're feeding your cat a nutritionally complete and balanced diet, they can certainly thrive. Like I said in the beginning of the presentation, it is important that cats get all the 41 to 45 nutrients in their diet. If they're getting that, yes. But if you're feeding home cooked, जैसे दूध दे दिया, दही चावल दे दिया, तो no, they will not thrive then.
I think
Ma'am,
he is skipped out.
Okay.
Madam, I also needed to ask you about cat. So, is it okay if I intervene?
Sure, it's Sharanya.
So, as I was asking when you started the webinar today, you said that that dogs are omnivorous, but cats are carnivorous. And I have been a vegan for a while, and I have known that it is possible for dogs to be on a plant-based diet. But like for cats, I have predominantly heard that they need certain amino acids, like you said, that have to come from meat, that have to come from a carnivorous diet. So if so I understand that you're saying that it has to be a nutritionally complete diet for them to also thrive on plant-based diet. But how can it be nutritionally complete if what they require needs to come from animals?
Sorry, I'm just getting the hang of Microsoft Teams. So just like how for dogs, I showed the chart, right, where if you did the plant-based ingredients, there are certain nutrients that are deficient, which are being supplemented by the meal balancer. Similarly, we don't have a product right now yet for cats, but eventually we are going to come up with a similar product for cats as well. So as long as all the amino acids and the nutrients are being derived from plant-based ingredients with proper supplementation, they can thrive. So right now, for people who have cats and want to feed vegan to their cats, your best bet is feeding Amy or Benevo, because that is nutritionally complete and balanced. It has all the amino acids that a cat requires.
So, ma'am, I'm not well versed with nutrition, so I will not be able to name the exact amino acids. But there are one or two amino acids that cats require that are not found in plants at all. So like
Yeah, but they can be supplemented. So they're synthetic, basically. Like, for example, what we are doing right now with taurine and carnitine, it's only found in muscle meat. It's not found in plants. While dogs have the ability to synthesize taurine, but still it's not enough for because of the way they are breeded. It's not enough. They need a lot more than what the body can synthesize. So we are adding synthetic taurine and carnitine. It's same with cats. Cats also need taurine and carnitine, and they also need arachidonic acid, methionine, etc. So these can be added in synthetic forms. It's totally fine. Their body is able to process and absorb. It's not an issue. And that's where I said, like, we don't have a product right now like Meal Balancer that supports home cooking for cats at the moment. So your best bet for feeding cats would be feeding brands like Amy and Benevo, which are nutritionally complete, and they have all these amino acids included in there. Even if you take up a bag of Whiskas or a Meow Mix or whatever you're feeding your cat, these amino acids are supplemented in those, and they are synthetic. They're not coming from meat. So you might as well do plant ingredients and add the supplements in.
I understand. Ma'am, one final question about cats. Why are cats then called
Please
carnivores?
mute. Hetal.
Yeah. So cats are obligate carnivores just because of their. Sorry, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I forgot to mute. Yeah. So cats are classified as obligate carnivores because of their physiology, but they have evolved. Just like dogs have evolved, cats have also evolved. And what later recent studies are showing is that cats are able to digest plant protein even better than dogs. They have like 97% digestibility of plant proteins, which like dogs have like somewhere around 85%. So this is even more than dogs. If you think about it, when cats were in the wild, they never went fishing. Fish was not their natural food. They would never go into the river to eat fish. A typical cat's diet is a rat, or like mice or other small prey animals. Eating chicken or eating fish is not their natural diet anyways, right? So like dogs have evolved, cats have also evolved to be able to process some of these proteins. So the challenge that comes with feeding cats plant-based diet is in terms of palatability, because cats need a higher amount of protein and a higher amount of fat. So when you home cook, if you don't achieve that, it can be challenging for the cat to be able to like that food. So that's where, and they also, once they develop a texture preference to a particular kind of food, it's a little bit of work. Not that it cannot be done, it can, but it's a little bit of work to uncondition them and then recondition them to plant-based ingredients.
Understood. Ma'am, when it comes to the scientific studies that we're talking about for cats protein, digestion, palatability, would there be any specific studies that you would recommend?
So you could go to Sustainable Pet Food Info. All the studies on both dogs and cats are all published there. It's one source of one-stop shop for all scientific research that is being done on plant-based diets for cats and dogs.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll just put it in the chat as well, just so that you, so anybody who's interested in reading it can find it.
Few more questions towards the end. Hetal.
Yeah.
Darshita.
Darshita, yeah. What other animals can survive on a balanced plant-based diet? What animals do you have in mind, Darshita?
Hi. So, I was wanting to ask, like, there are also shelters which rescue, like, horses and donkeys and all of that. So,
They are all herbivores
shelters like
anyways,
that.
right?
Sorry?
So donkeys, horses, they are herbivores anyways. So they already
Yeah.
eat plant-based ingredients. Even like pigs can thrive on a plant-based diet.
Right.
So guinea pigs, um, yeah, so mice, like rabbits, all of them can thrive on plant-based diets.
Okay.
They're mostly
I was
herbivores
specifically
anyways.
thinking for like horses because basically that's the rescue places I've witnessed. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're horses are herbivores anyways, so there's no need for meat for them. And then what is the synthetic taurine sourced from? It's something that is made in a lab. So it basically uses the precursors of creating taurine, and that's how it is made. And the precursors are usually plant-based. I'm feeding Nature's Hug. Is it okay? Yeah, Nature's Hug is a nutritionally complete balanced food for both dogs and cats. But you might want to email, because last when I had spoken to them, this was sometime last year, their vitamin D3 was not vegan. It was not plant-based. It was animal sourced. So you might want to just check if they've changed that. Then it's totally fine.
We also have Darshan here, who's online, who is part of Team Prayas, a shelter, and he's been able to transition his shelter dogs to a plant-based meal offering. So, Darshan, if you are available, would you be able to share a few points of how it has helped, how much of cost has been saved, what are the benefits of it?
Hello, Akash. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you, Hetal and Fiapo. This was a highly richly and densely nutritious presentation, I would say, with a right balance of all awareness, education, motivation, and all the action items. I mean, uh, mm, this is really a handbook that shelters can follow, and we'll be definitely interacting with you more. Uh, okay, so our biggest fight was with the veterinarian to convince them to, because most of 90% of the dogs that we rescue are in bad shape. In bad shape, as in uh, they are gravely injured or malnourished and everything. So the surgeon or the veterinarian is very much concerned about the the food, because the surgery is, I mean, all the shelters would agree that nothing to take away from the veterinarian, but the surgery is 25% and aftercare is 75% of the work. And we did had our fights with the vet, but we did manage to. One point for us was good that since we are in Surat, Gujarat, most of the street dogs are anyways vegetarian. So it was an easier convincing part, but definitely, as I went vegan because of FIAPO, I had to do all this on myself also. Where do we'll get the protein from, and where will you get calcium and vitamins and all. So when we initiated this transition, I was well connected with my food. So, and again, I had a rescued pet, which was again at me and lived wonderfully for 12 years, and absolutely no worries. So that gave us a good belief. But then we did work with a nutritionist and made our own recipe, which was easy to cook for our shelter caretakers. And of course, we do use Drools, which is vegan. And uh, it, and talking to companies really help, because what we have done is that we have got a network of dog feeders who would buy from us at very reasonable rate or the same cost that we buy, and in turn we get a good rate from the company, so that we sort of a stockist or distributor, something like that, and it creates a good thing for us. So when the healing continued to be better and better, the transition came off, and I think we were very lucky to have this recipe done pretty early. So we use all these things, and mainly we balance all the micronutrition. We definitely would try the supplements that you have. It will be great to use them. And thank you for all the action items and suggestions and strategies that you've mentioned to lower the uh, cost of the meals. And of course, the cats, uh, will definitely are not fully vegan with cats, but we'll definitely work on that now. Thank you so much.
So, just one thing to add, like avoid feeding wheat or any gluten-based ingredients to strays, because it's number one leading cause of skin issues because of thyroid, because it leads to thyroid, and also it causes digestive issues in the long run. You know, you're better off doing rice and dal as opposed to giving roti or lapsi. You know, just wanted to share that. And just to add a little bit to what Darshan just mentioned, amazing work that they're doing. Just to kind of give you a graphical representation of what comes into a shelter and what plant-based transformations can be like. So this is from one of the shelters that I had worked with in Chennai. We call it a shelter, but they're not a shelter because it is an open shelter, as in the entire street has been adopted by this one person. And she basically takes care of about 50 to 60 of the stray animals there, right from vaccination, ABC, everything to like their treatments. And all her dogs are now vegan, 100% vegan, and they do use the meal balancer as well. So this is Ruby, one of their street rescues. She was abandoned in a well, she was found in a garbage, like like the condition that you see. She had a fractured leg. She had thyroid. She had mange. She had kidney, her chronic kidney disease, and she also had feces stuck in her intestines that she was unable to poop, so she couldn't eat. So you can so when they took her, when the veterinarian took her in, and this lady takes care, great care of her street dogs, you know, like they go to the same veterinary care that her own companion animals go to. And it was one of the leading vets in Chennai. When the hospital, when they took her in, they tried to do everything, but they couldn't, you know, it didn't work. And they said euthanize. So they asked to euthanize Ruby. And then this is when I had just moved from US to India that time. So somehow she found me and reached out, and then we worked with her dogs. And this is 2 months later. You can see the dog is eating a vegan meal. So amazing transformations can happen if the diet is nutritionally complete and balanced. That is the key, you know, that's where I think problems happen, because the diet is usually not balanced or not complete. And this is the case with most companion animals at home, as well as in the shelters too. So I think, so she didn't have to, the only solution for her, you know, was to go through surgery, but she couldn't go through surgery because of the complications that she had because of the comorbidities. And once we started her on a plant-based diet, we got her to, of course, we first did some Ayurvedic herbs to help her pass her feces. And then we put her on a plant-based diet. And then she didn't have to go through a cast or anything. She was walking and running like in 6 months. Like this leg was completely broken. So she only walked on 3 legs. And then she was running like on all her fours. So plants have amazing healing potential. So don't underestimate plants. They're quite powerful when done the right way. Sorry, I just wanted to give a graphic representation to provide some motivation if there are other shelters online to the work that Darshan just mentioned that they do, you know. Um, so we are also working on creating awareness among veterinarians. So hopefully over time that will change, you know.
Madam, if I may ask another question, this is not a general question, this is specific to my dogs, two of my dogs. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
So I had mentioned this query when I was registering also. I was consulting with a canine nutritionist as of late, and two of my dogs, both of them are indies, both of them are rescued, and both of them have had quite few unique health complications in the last 3 or 4 years that they've been with me. Both of them have quite a bit of gastrointestinal issues. One of them was diagnosed with acute pancreatitis last year, and the other one has had, like, other one is basically has atopic dermatitis. It is not any particular food, it is not environment specific, it is unpredictable, and so that is what their diagnoses are at the moment. I really believe that I've been trying to find a canine nutritionist for them for the last many years, but like the one that I'm consulting right now, who has every qualification possible, and he seems to know what he's talking about. He's telling me that he's advising me that it would be possible to put at least my younger dog, who was diagnosed with acute pancreatitis and has a lot of gastrointestinal issues, to on a vegan diet. Like, she would need a meat-based diet, because have like especially deriving protein from soybean, and especially from soybean and such protein, it would be very disadvantageous for her gastrointestinal issues. So what can I do?
So actually, plant-based diet is great for both for atopic dermatitis as well as pancreatitis. So when dogs have pancreatitis, they need to be on a low-fat diet. Meat-based diets are usually higher in saturated fats. So if you do, I would need to formulate a custom diet for them, especially for the one with atopic dermatitis, because we'll need to figure out what foods she is in or he is intolerant to. And then you'll just have to follow that recipe. So for meat and dairy, based on research that is published, not me saying, based on research that's been published in the Animal Journal, meat and dairy are #1 allergens for dogs. And after that comes soy. So normally when I'm formulating recipes, I don't use we do use soybeans sometimes. In some cases it's great, it depends on the condition, and some cases it is not. So like humans, every dog is an individual, so we need to look at their individual constitution and feed them accordingly. So I think what will be great for you to just get started and get an idea is to join the challenge that is starting on August 3rd. You can sign up online on curryandpepper.com. Because some of the processes that I would be going through as part of the challenge would also be what we would do typically in a one-on-one consultation. So, that I think it'll be beneficial for you to get started there. And then post that, if there is anything that is outstanding, we can work on a one-on-one consultation, because I would need to see their blood work and stuff like that to figure out what's going on, where the root cause is, especially with atopic dermatitis.
Right,
I understand.
But isn't soybean not advisable when there are a lot of gas issues?
No. In fact, plant-based diets they improve gut health. Just because plants are so rich in flavonoids, antioxidants, fiber, these things you would never get out of meat, because these things don't exist in meat-based diets. They only exist in plant matter. So they would do naturally well. In fact, there is scientific studies that's done by Professor and veterinarian Andrew Knight, that proves that dogs on a plant-based diet actually do really well, get gut health wise. And I do work with a lot of cases who have gut dysbiosis. Basically, in both your cases, in both your dogs, the root cause is gut dysbiosis, or what is known as leaky gut. So that's where you have this issue, and plants do really well when it comes to repairing these things. Nothing is an overnight solution. It takes time if it's a chronic condition. So you have to work through it diligently, and then you can definitely see results.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Anyone else with any more queries? All right, I think we can end here, Hital. Thank you very much. If there's anything you'd like to add, you can.
No, I think thanks for having me, Akash. And I think all those who are here, the fact that you are here and taking time to learn this in spite of your busy schedules is a great step forward. So if you would like to do, like I mentioned earlier, a follow-up session for shelters or NGOs who want to transition their animals to a plant-based diet, I'm happy to support. You can reach out to Akash, and we can do a follow-up session to kind of get more implementational discussions,
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.